Welcome down to the deep. Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Got another figure review for you today. And this time we're taking a look at a Star Wars The Black Series figure. So I do own quite a few of these Black Series figs, so I thought I'd start out with arguably the main character in the whole of Star Wars. And this is one of the oldest Black Series figures that I've got in my collection as well. So this guy did come out way back in 2014. It wasn't part of the initial first wave of Black Series figures, but it was definitely one of the earlier waves. So yeah, he does go back quite a long way now. It's what, over 10 years old. So yeah, really cool. So with all that being said, let's jump on in. Here we have Darth then in his plastic prison. As you can see, he is based on his A New Hope appearance, as he does have that slight red tint to the lenses on his mask and the eyes. And he does include his lightsaber. That is the only accessory that we get. Got a nice little graphic there of Vader. And these are very old style packages now. They don't even include this plastic window box anymore. It's just all plastic free packaging that we get now. So yeah, these boxes are very different to what we get now. You can see we've got some Black Series branding just down on the bottom here, as well as Darth Vader. And then this is figure number 2 in this wave, but as stated, he did come out slightly later than the first original wave of figures. Spinning it around to the back, as you can see, we just get a brief description of the Black Series line, as it was quite new still at this point. And then we get this nice blue Imperial lighting going on down the side of the box, as well as all the legal stuff there. Nothing on the side, nothing on this side, just a bit more of that window box. Nothing on the top. Legal stuff and barcodes on the bottom. And that's pretty much it for the packaging. Not a lot to see really. So let's get Darth out of his plastic prison. Feel the power of the dark side. Here we are then. We have the Dark Lord of the Sith out of his packaging. Looking really badass. It's a really nicely done figure, this. Got some awesome intricate detailing on it. And it sort of feels like a mini Hot Toys figure. Which, I mean, those figures are insanely well detailed. But they are ridiculously expensive. Whereas obviously these Black Series figures are nice and cheap and cheerful. But yeah, they've done a really good job with them. So as you can see, we do get this soft goods cape piece going on here, which, to bring the figure in closer, it does attach to the figure via these little holes on the chest plate. So that just secures it in place. But it is done in this really nice soft goods, feels really high quality. And they've even stitched these pieces on the bottom just to stop it from fraying. So you can maneuver this out the way if you like, to have that look going on. And because it's in that soft goods, you can just maneuver it wherever you want really, which helps with the posability. And he does also include this little camer that goes around his waist as well, which is done in the soft goods. It's the same material, just feels a little bit thinner. But again, because it's nice and malleable, you can just move it out of the way for posability, which is great. You do also get this metallic chain here as well, which goes around his neck. It's just done in like this little, it's probably tin or just some cheap metal really. But it's done really well. It goes all the way around. It's better than it just being painted. And again, it adds to the realistic nature of these figures. As you can see, the Kamer cloak piece that's included does continue up here as well. It's just sort of tucked away behind this chest piece that holds it all in. and it does continue around the back. Just lift his cloak over his head for a minute. Just continue around here as well. Yeah, really good quality. It does come with his lightsaber, and that is his only accessory, but you don't really need much else with a Darth Vader figure. And I will show you a close-up of that just later on. Let's get a better look at Darth then. So this figure is based off of his appearance in A New Hope, or Star Wars, the original film, whatever you want to call it. So he does have that slightly red tint on the eyes, on the lenses, on the mask, which is very screen accurate to A New Hope. He does have that look going on. And if you didn't know, there are actually 3 different helmet designs for Vader across all 3 of the original trilogy films. So we've obviously got this one, then they did another design for Empire Strikes Back, and then a 3rd design for Return of the Jedi. So yeah, quite interesting. But they've done a really good job with it. It looks exactly like what it's supposed to. Proportions are really good. Get some metallic silver paint just on the sort of nose area, and then those little mandibles around where the mouthpiece is, and then the rest of it is just done in this glossy black paint. Coming down to the chest piece there, again that is totally screen accurate to the A New Hope version of Vader. Got more of that metallic silver paint on there, and then the glossy black as well. Control panel's done really well. There's not even any sort of mistakes or anything on the paintwork. It's really well done there. More of the metallic silver and black on the shoulder pads. And I'll just spin him around to the back so you can see the continuation of that neck brace that he wears. So as you can see, it is its own separate piece, and it's just sort of glued on here. The arms have some really nice sculpted detail for his little, it's almost like a flight suit that he wears, I suppose. It's really cool. It's just done in black plastic, it's not painted or anything. But yeah, it does look really nice. And then coming down to the belt, really awesome looking detailing on the little buttons and switches that he's got going on his belt, as well as the belt buckle. The crotch piece is just moulded in more of that black plastic, but yeah, it looks really good. Screen accurate. There's no continuation of that around the back, which I believe there is supposed to be, but it's just got more of that sort of flight suit look going on around there. And then coming down to the legs, got his robotic boots going on, which look really good. Some sculpt work around the back. And then he does have some of those little ports on his heels, so you can pop him on a stand if you want to. Onto his main accessory then. As you can see, he does come with his lightsaber. Got this nice red blade that extends quite far out. It's got a nice length to it. And then we've got the hilt down here, which is Darth Vader's hilt. You can separate the blade, so it just unpeg from the tip of the hilt. I'll just show you a closer look at the hilt there. Do get some really nice paintwork on it, and some sculpt work as well. You can see there is even that little metallic buckle that he has on the top of it, which looks cool. Yeah, it's just done in that black and silver paint. So yeah, really nice. So you can have him holding his lightsaber It will only fit into this hand though. And you just want to be a little bit careful when you're putting it in, because the peg that's on the end of the blade, it is quite thin and fragile, so it probably would snap if you caught it at the wrong angle. But yeah, you can only have the lightsaber in that hand. This other hand that we get is just more of an open palm style, sort of force choke look going on with that hand, so you can't have him hold the lightsaber in that hand, unfortunately. And the only other accessory that we really get with this guy is you can remove his helmet and mask. So if you just pull all this section off, it just clips straight over onto the head sculpt, which I will show you in a second. Just going to show you a closer look at the helmet piece first. So it is done in like this soft plastic, so it is a little bit squishy, and there is a little bit of sculpted detailing in there just on the inside, which is quite nice. So that's that piece. And then onto the Anakin head sculpt. As you can see there, we get some really awesome looking greeble detailing on the inside of the mask, which is painted as well. And then there's a better look at the charred remains of Anakin Skywalker. Looking really cool. Just spin it around to the back. As you can see, the head there has got the scarring on it, which is what we see in Return of the Jedi. And as stated, the helmet mask piece does just clip back over the top of that and hides it all the way quite nicely. Creates for a very seamless look going on there. Moving on to the articulation for Darth then. First up, the head is on a ball joint, so it will go a full 360. Just got to be wary of that mask piece coming off. It can look up to there. It can look down to there. It will go side to side slightly, but it is quite tight on the ball joint. Just move this cape piece out of the way. The shoulders will go full 360. They will hinge out only to there, so not great. The elbows are on a swivel as well as a hinge. I believe it's called a ball hinge joint. They'll bend up to there, so not quite 90. The wrists are on those ball hinges as well, so you can get full 360 as well as outwards and inwards motion like that on the ball hinge. There is a swivel at the waist, however, because of these soft goods, you do want to be a little bit careful. You don't want to rip that. So it probably would go a full 360 if you really tried, but because this soft good material is tucked away behind his belt, it does restrict the waist swivel there. Coming down to the hips, they're on ball joints, so you can go out to there, you can move forward to there, kick back only to there, so not great. There is a thigh cut. It is quite tight on this one because it's obviously an old figure that's just been in the box really. The knees have a doubled knee joint, so there's a double bend at the knee, so you can get the knee all the way back there, which is good. And then coming down to the feet, they're on those ball hinges as well, so you can move them up to there, you can kick them back to there, you can spin all the way around. So yeah, some good posability out of the legs, less so in the arms, which is a bit of a shame. The head's got great posability though. The ability to look up all the way and down all the way is really good. So that's it for the articulation. Final thoughts for this figure then. Yeah, I think he's an excellent introduction into the Black Series line. Obviously, we're talking as if we were back in 2014 really, because that's when this figure first came out. I don't have any up-to-date releases for Darth Vader. I know that they released another one alongside the Kenobi series, but I didn't pick that one up. So I don't really have any other Darth Vader figures to compare him to, sadly. But I'm sure that this one would still hold up against some of those newer ones. It's just that the newer ones are probably going to have a little bit better articulation and probably some more up-to-date sculpt work. But this guy, for saying how old he is now, he's still holding up well. Yeah. The inclusion of the soft goods, the quality of the paintwork and the sculpt work, as I stated earlier, it's almost like having just a mini Hot Toys figure for a fraction of the price. So yeah, really cool. Great little piece to have on display. And he's even well suited for a slightly younger audience that, you know, still want to play around with the figures and not just pose them like us collectors do. So yeah, really awesome. You can still get these on the second-hand market, so I've seen a few of them on eBay and stuff. They are still knocking around, but I'd probably just buy a newer version of the figure, as it is going to be more or less the same as what you get in here, if not slightly better. Yeah, biggest complaint with this guy is the articulation on the arms. There's barely anything in the shoulders in terms of out and in, and then the elbow joints are not the best either, so you can only really get him in a few different poses. There's not a lot you can do with him, but other than that, pretty solid figure. So drop me a like if you've enjoyed this review, post me a comment to let me know who your favourite Star Wars character is, and make sure you subscribe to the channel, as we've got plenty of different videos for you coming out. Gonna have more Transformer reviews. We've got another Lego set review on the way, and I'll be working on another Black Series figure review for you as well. So with all that being said, guys, take care, and I'll see you on the next one.